favorite part. Are you-
That's not even euphonium playing.
I don't really care for the euphonium part at all when it gets to that guitar.
Well, hello. How is everyone doing? Somebody commented, give them a minute. They're just jamming to euphonium playing. That's Christopher saying they're just jamming to.
Were they able to hear?
Oh, yeah,
were
of
they able
course.
to-
Yeah. I told
They
you.
could hear my voice while the music was going?
Yeah, I told you we're going live. So-
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care for the euphonium part.
yeah,
that's
it's
in there,
just
but
the
man,
best
man,
part,
that-
guitar
that-
solo.
That guitar solo in the center. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Hey,
Euphonium part. No, not
Yeah.
that cool.
Well, hello. It's Wednesday, February 10th. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone had a great week so far. We're doing another episode of our little live chat here, episode 19, I believe. Today we're going to be trying, I'm actually going to be trying to operate 20 windows so we could play some music, do some fun stuff, show you some fun videos. So quick disclaimer in case of any fails. Just
not me.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Not me.
So, but yeah, my name is Algirdas Matonizz, also known as Matonizz. This is my co-host Ding. And how are you doing, Mike? What's new? How's your lips? How's your face after a Sunday 6-hour recording?
I was tired. The parts weren't difficult.
When you
There's
play
some tricky
trombone, when you play trombone.
There's some tricky ones. There was, but just the amount of time that you had to play in sustained playing
Yeah.
was nonstop. So I was a little tired lip wise after that. I had a ton of fun though.
We did a bunch of Celtic stuff, which means what's with Scot people and triplets? What's the big deal with all the triplety music in Scotland and Ireland and all the Scottish and Irish music? All triplets.
You'd have to ask James about that. He'd be able to tell you.
Yeah, but basically some cool recordings, and it's been a pretty busy couple of weeks, and there's another recording of Gershwin music happening this Sunday, so it's a busy week. Let us know how's your week been going, any musical ventures if you had, anything new, anything cool, share your story in the comment box below. Any questions, leave them in the comment section. We'll be trying to answer them a little bit later. And of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. That helps a lot. We're trying to...
I have a question.
Well, you're not you're answering the questions, not asking the questions.
No, I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
Hello, Brazil.
No, that's not a question.
Don't have fun. I'm gonna.
That's not a question. Is Ellen in the chat?
Yes. We've got.
Ellen's here because
Yeah.
I can't see the chat people this time because
Yeah.
there's so many other screens going on.
I'm gonna be reading
I,
off a phone today.
I wanted to talk to Ellen for a second. Is she there?
Yeah, she's there.
Okay. So I never get a chance to see the questions until like I watch the video after the fact. So Ellen, for like the past couple of times, and I haven't been able to address it. She asked if there's going to be any costumes coming up in any of the performances. So I wanted to tell her about that.
Okay.
Not big time costumes, but we did have a chance to do a recording session and a video session for our video series on Sunday, the Sunday that just happened. And like Al was saying, he was mentioning that it was some Irish music. So I went out and I got some St. Patrick's Day hats, and since I was playing in the trombone section, I bought 3 hats because there's 2 tenor trombones and one bass trombone player that's playing in the group. So I brought some St. Patrick's Day hats to wear, and it was hilarious because I always bring costumes and all sorts of things for the shows that we do, and I'm just totally into it just because it lightens the mood and it makes things fun. At least for me it does. But it was hilarious because I could tell that the other 2 guys did not want to wear those hats at all. But they didn't want to make me feel bad, which is hilarious because like I'm normally a pretty nice guy, and I'm really nice to all the players that are in the group. So I don't think they wanted to let me down or disappoint me, but they probably against their will.
That's hilarious.
They wore the hats.
You bailed on euphonium section, and now euphonium section doesn't have hats or costumes.
Yeah, you were upset. Oh, that's hilarious too. It's like you were like personally offended that I didn't get a hat for you when I normally would have. But like, hey, I'm playing trombone. Now I got to take care of my section. Yeah.
So I had Abby playing on second euphonium. She did a pretty good job, very good job. So we switched instruments a little bit. So for those, I had a couple of people asking whether we're doing any videos with Abby or any duets. So we had a chance to, because normally she plays baritone, and this time she was playing euphonium. So while Mike was playing trombone, it's hectic time. Everyone's swapping seats just to make this work, because it's hard to keep everything safe and go according to the protocol. But either way. We're going to be running through quite a bit of stuff. I'm a bit tight with time today because I need to be practicing Sunday's program. Turns out it's not that easy. So we're going to start off with some of the questions. I'm going to read through some of the chats, and then we're going to watch some funny videos. I'm going to play everyone a little demo preview of what's coming up. Next week, we've got a very cool march that Mike is in. So that's going to be pretty cool. So you're going to hear a demo version today, which is unmixed and missing 2 parts, which is actually euphonium part. It's not missing baritone part, and baritone part is being played by Mike, but it's missing my part because it's not recorded yet, and the percussion part, which is being recorded right now as we speak. So either way, but you'll get a little bit of a taste of what's coming on Monday. Talking about Monday and today, actually, not about Monday. Before you were talking about the hats, I was going to make a little disclaimer. I'm going to be trying to work these podcasts out. We have a goal of what we want to do. The big goal for this year that I wanted to do, and the big goal for last year as well, was to start making I wanted to fill out gaps of the industry that we have, and it's always a gap in terms of educational materials, good arrangements, and particularly good arrangements or compositions involving euphonium. And I'm not necessarily like preoccupied of having like euphonium solos or tuba solos only, but I want to make sure that euphonium becomes an involved instrument in the repertoire, and there's just not that much repertoire in comparison to trumpets and trombones and so on. So we've been spending a lot of resources and a lot of time just to make sure those arrangements are being released on a regular basis, and it's very hard. So I bet that a lot of people that are following these chats, I bet we're not the only musicians you follow, and you probably know that producing content and arrangement, boom, I just spit on the mic. Producing content and arrangements on weekly and monthly basis, and not a lot of people can pull off. There's a difference between producing like a four piece pop arrangement versus like a octet larger bands and etc. So we appreciate everyone who's been supporting, not only through viewing, sharing, and liking, but through patrons as well, because the musicians are being paid for, the equipment is being paid for, and the arrangements and commissions are being paid for by patrons and ad revenue. So thanks to everyone who's been supporting. And that being said, the plan for this year, where I'm going to be heading, why are you laughing? Because I'm talking too much?
I was just thinking about something funny in my head. Go ahead.
Okay.
But I did want to say, I didn't want to interrupt you because you'll hurt me if I do. But I thought, what do you care about euphonium? I thought you ditched that thing and you just took up tuba now. I thought you were just a tuba player.
I'm double trouble now. Double trouble is in town. Wait till I already started recording some crazy tuba solos. Wait till it turns out I can play very, very, very high on tuba. I'll tell you a joke, and people probably won't believe me. I can play, not like a functionally, but I can play out a higher note on tuba than I can play out on euphonium, pitch per pitch. Not overall, but I'm talking about the overall pitch. It's I'm finding out that I'm pretty good at some of the high stuff on tuba, so keep an eye for that. You're gonna hear a little preview of some low notes today on me playing tuba.
If you have to play that high on a tuba, why don't you just play trumpet?
Yeah, so as I was saying, the goal for this year, the goal for this year was to, this is where I'm heading. I'm not going to give you a preview of the website, but I'm going to be launching a website, www.matonizz.com. If you go there, you'll see it's under construction, but it's on the finalizing stages, and it's going to be a hub for brass players, a forum, a lot of, I don't want to spoil too much right now, but there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. And the goal of that forum and the people I'm working with, the musicians that I work with, Drew, you, Ian, who's the composer, Lucas, Brian, they're not just good musicians, but they're people who are capable of working, and that's the hard thing to find. And by working, I mean on a regular basis. They don't need to be in good mood to record. They can stick to schedule. That's very, very hard to find good quality players like that. So I'm going to be trying to fill up the gap in terms of the arrangements, compositions, classical compositions, progressive compositions like pop music, rock music. Wait till you hear the metal Haydn trumpet concerto that I've got coming your way. Wait till you hear that stuff. We've got some good stuff. So the goal for this year is to open up the website, make sure there's 4 pieces of product launched every month. This is where I want to get 4 pieces of, whether it's through composition, arrangement, something that you can download, sheet music, backing tracks. You have an actual product downloadable, not just me showing up on the screen saying hello or entertaining. Not that it's not valuable, but I want to make sure each time we release a product, you have an ability to download a physical product so you can use it yourself with professional backing tracks and etc. And for this podcast, where I'm going to be heading, we're going to be hiring some people to help us out with layout. It's not ideal for 2 people to run this. I need a third person, a reliable person who can be an engineer behind this, and that's where we'll be able to do some really cool stuff in terms of segments for funny videos, for more quizzes, and etc. That's on the way. Just everything consumes time. I'm working full time to sort this out, but this is the plan, and so hopefully you'll get to see that these podcasts get a little bit more entertaining as we go. For now, let's just stick with communicating. I'm not expecting necessarily for a huge crowd to join in. This is more to these streams are more dedicated to our hardcore followers and just a way of us connecting and communicating, and in a way saying thank you to everyone who's been supporting on a regular basis. That being said, if you have any questions, leave them in the box below. We're going to try and answer as many of them as possible, probably towards the end. Today we're going to be watching some videos that Ellen, one of our probably most regular followers, kept on sending me through the emails. So in the description box of these streams, you see that you can submit your videos for the section which we were going to call This Ain't Funny. And this is still going to be a section. There's just no visuals for that. But we've got some videos prepared for that. We're going to see how that works out because, again, I'm operating, the software that I use is called Streamlabs. I'm operating multiple windows, so if you see some fails with windows not aligning properly or whatever, please forgive me, but we're gonna try and entertain you today. So I have no clue. I kind of previewed what Ellen sent me, but I haven't fully watched this, so we'll react as we go. So she sent 2 videos that are kind of
they better be G rated or tops PG, or I will be upset.
What is G rated?
For general audiences.
There's only one way to find that out. So, okay, so
oh, I'm nervous. Yeah. Now, do I have to like? Is this supposed to be funny stuff, right?
Oh, hopefully.
I don't like funny stuff. I don't find stuff funny, so it's going to be really hard to get me to laugh.
Okay, it's okay. Nobody's expecting you to laugh. This is not for you. So, okay. This is for people. You can stay grumpy. Just put on your Grinch. Just put your Grinch mask and sit and just.
I'll have to go get it.
Okay, let's see how this works out. Let's change the scenes. Okay, we're still there.
Oh, wow, we're there. Yeah, this one worked.
That worked, okay. So, fingers crossed, no fails today, okay? So, the title of this is called Top 5 Page Turn Fails During Classical Performance. So, we are immediately getting a copyright strike for this one, but it's okay, no big deal. So, let's watch, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's see if we can crack out a smile in Ding's face. Okay. So clearly no smile.
That just seems staged. It seems staged.
No, it's not staged. Okay, from scale 1 to 10, funny level. How funny is that?
10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest?
You are correct. Welcome. 1. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, terrible. Oh, poor person. Poor person.
Okay, that made you laugh at least a little bit. Okay, funny, not funny. 1 to 10.
That was a pretty good one. That was maybe like a 6.
Okay, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat what score do you give for this? I found that pretty funny either way. When it happens to cello players, it's always funny. That's a bass player, not cello. Was it cello or bass?
Bass.
Bass, okay. I didn't pay attention. Okay. Oh, this has to be funny.
That's what kills me about drummers. Stop it. That's what kills me about drummers. Drummers are like, especially classical drummers, they're always so serious. And they have that intensity on their face whenever they're playing and all of that.
Yeah.
They're so for real, and then that happens.
Not having a great day, that guy. Okay, 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
That's a good one. That's like just because those drummers are so serious. 8 and 8.
8. Okay. 8. That's
more
than you ever laughed at any of my jokes. So.
Your jokes are horrible. Keep going.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Put a number. Whoever's watching, put a number down. We're gonna read them through. Put a number down. What you think? Mike is giving 8 for this. Okay. It's not all. That's funny. was about to say, sorry for stopping. I was about to say it's not so much funny as actually impressive what he did right there.
Me too. I'm about to say that. Yes, I'm about to say that.
It's that both of them, not only the player, he immediately turned to the piano score, but also for the page turner, he somehow managed to find the right page clearly. So, but let's watch this. If this, they should have turned that out to a shtick. They should have definitely turned that out to the shtick. So if this was conducted by James Gourlay, this would have been an epic shtick. Each time, I've told this many times, but I had the worst luck with valve guides probably any euphonium player in a professional euphonium player history ever. I had valve guides break not only during the concert, but exclusively during the middle of solos in large sold-out theaters when I'm in front of a stage. So the first time it happened in 2000, I believe 14. So my valve, I was playing Harlequin. My valve got complete. You were not. Lance was still there. My valve got jammed. I was because it got jammed up like halfway through, and I had to. He made it into a joke. I bet half of the people thought that was like a shtick for some reason, except for you wouldn't expect it to be like a part of this beautiful piece. But either way,
was that the time where they're like, "Hey, there's this awesome euphonium player from Lithuania that's coming over. Here, let's listen to him do an amazing solo."
Exactly.
Is that the thing?
Yep. Exactly. And I just go like, and James turned out and he stopped, of course, the piece, and I was like, oh, my valve is stuck. And I knew that wasn't an oil problem, and somebody threw me an oil, just oil it up. And it's like, come on, man, if you don't think I oiled that up before going. And then Lance just grab my euphonium. And I remember clearly somebody telling from the band, oh, don't grab his euphonium. You might not be used to it. And I was like, what? Just give me the damn euphonium. And I was like, we're good. Yeah. We're good to go. So Lance just went to the backstage and sat that out while I played the solo on his euphonium. So either way, that became a shtick. So the upcoming concerts, I would walk out without euphonium. And James would go like, he forgot his euphonium in Lithuania. So I would grab a horn from Lance and just he would walk out from stage. But either way, let's continue watching this, see where we at. That's some powerful whip to that page turn. Mm-hmm. Solid. Okay.
That would be a moment where, like, if I was the main soloist and something like that happened, it would make me feel really good, because then I would be like, well, no matter if I mess up like a little bit or have something go wrong, it's not gonna overtake something like that.
That's interesting logic here. Okay, so that one, scale 1 to 10.
That last one, like a 2.
Okay. Fair enough. Not funny. Well, let's look at this. Let's see how this works out. Is that cat dead?
That's exactly what I thought.
What? There's no way that is a real cat. That must be like a stuffed cat for that. No matter how bad that's.
It might wake up.
my guess is that cat has just a messed up eardrums just like me, so cannot even hear the sound that's coming directly to the.
I'm really against this video right here.
Against giving the cat a massage.
No, I'm just really against, like, especially when you're doing things to like animals and stuff like that at your expense. I'm not. That doesn't sit well.
I bet that guy didn't put the cat there. Probably crawled in there and wants some back massage right there from like.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So what do you think? The guy just put the cat on the piano and just, you know, like, okay, let's play like ragtime.
I mean, obviously, because piano is not going to be open like that, so they're going to have to open up the piano, and then whether or not the cat was placed there or went there on its own, still wouldn't do that to an animal. You know.
All right.
Doesn't sit well with me. A 0. I give that one.
I give it a 10. I put my cat. Okay, 0 is fair enough. Okay, so this one, I don't know whether we're gonna watch. A number of people kept on telling me now, sending me this video. It's very long, so I'm not exactly sure what apparently these guys were like crapping on like brass musicians or something like that. And apparently when I saw this, I was like, whatever. But then later on I was scrolling, it's like, oh, it's like over 3 million views these guys have. It's like, okay. So
they're pretty well known.
Do you know who are they?
Yeah, I'm not extremely familiar with them, but I've seen like promo clips and stuff like that on YouTube and things for them.
Yeah, I've never seen these. I just had a couple of people saying, "Oh, you need to like do a reply to like TwoSet Violin." I was like, "What the heck is TwoSet Violin?" But either way, so this is I'm not exactly sure. I just know they're like crapping on the orchestral musicians. It should be funny. We'll see if that's funny. And if it's not, we'll give 0s.
Maybe it's true.
I don't know. Well, let's see. So it's 12 minutes. I don't think we're gonna play the whole 12 minutes, but let's just see where this is. What's up with this?
Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the.
Okay, I don't like it already. Okay, it seems lame. Okay, let's get.
Episode of TwoSet Violin, very interesting episode where we are going to be paying homage to the brass gang today.
Hello, brass players.
This video is for you.
Yeah.
And so what we're gonna do today, we'll all be sight reading 10.
Where are these guys from? What's this?
Maybe it's
British.
I'm getting like an English accent or
British?
something like that. Is what I'm. Yeah.
Like, I did not expect that accent coming from. That's hilarious.
Levels of brass orchestral music. Usual rules. The moment we play one wrong note, we have to stop. And I think we're going to spice it up a little bit. So we're going to be sight reading to an actual recording of the orchestral piece.
It's more contextual for you guys to understand how brass players fits into the whole picture of orchestral music.
Yes.
Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock.
How is this a 3 million? How is this a 3 million subscriber channel? That cannot be real.
I think it's amazing. Keep it going.
Okay.
I win. I'll go first.
Damn it.
Yeah, you get the hard one. So annoying.
First one is La Lesienne Suite No. 1 by Bizet. Third movement.
Okay, here we go.
Are we getting an ad? Okay, that's fun times. Okay, that's what you get for watching. At least the ad is funny. I'm not getting it. Are they doing res?
Yeah, yeah, it's like a big old long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, you nailed that.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Bass is level 1. Symphony number 5, Mahler. First trombone part in the Adagietto.
Oh, now I get what they're doing. Okay. Okay,
It's tacit.
fair enough.
It's tacit. I think the whole time.
Wow, I was really enjoying the music. That was a little bit harder.
It was hard because there was a lot of tempo changes,
Yeah.
vibrato, so I had to make sure my tacit was in time.
Yeah, you have to tacit on time. Tacit in time. TIT.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're enjoying this.
This is good. This is funny.
You see,
This is pretty clever.
that's where I'm like, I'm not, I'm getting it, but it's just, okay, fair enough.
Tacit in time.
Trumpet 2. Why did they pick Trumpet 2?
So is every single one of these 10 levels just a tacit
I
or
guess.
rests? It's probably zoom in. Go to like level
Yeah, it's
10.
all tacits. I'm seeing a preview.
Let's go to level 10. Let's see.
Where's the
See if it's
level
all
10?
right.
Okay.
Like me. Imagine the frost.
Alright.
What clef is that?
Alto.
I don't know.
That's D. No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they don't realize how tricky that is. But I always tell my students that the rests. I mean, if you have a tacit, you can't mess up a tacit. But I always tell my students that rests are always harder than notes. Like, I would rather have a whole passage just filled with notes and not have to worry about the rest. The rest is where things go wrong. And they don't realize how hard it is. I'm sure they do realize how tricky it could be. To be sitting out for that long and then coming in is hard to do. And just the responsibilities of brass players in orchestral music. I mean, they're not often as a featured thing. You know, it's just like interjections and other things like that. So it's just a whole different. So it's just a whole different.
No, look, it might be me. I don't know. Like, I see what they're doing here. I get the joke. I just don't find the delivery particularly. It's not like it's unfunny. It's just not funny. It's not unfunny or funny. I don't know. I didn't
I
particularly.
liked it. Yeah, I liked
It's,
it.
it's
I
like
thought it was clever.
it's yeah, clever is what I use. I wouldn't use like. I wouldn't say like 3 million subscriber funny, but I probably need to check more videos. I don't see. I don't know. The heck
You're
do
just
I know?
having subscriber jealousy right now.
Maybe
That's
a little
what
bit.
you're having
I don't
subscriber
know.
jealousy.
I don't know. We'll see about that. But yeah. So I like the pages dropping. That's more of my type of humor. Things breaking, bells dropping, things like that. That's more of my type of humor. Okay, so for this one, let's see if we need to rescale. Okay, so this one is actually, this is what I call clever. Let me just quickly rescale this and see if that works out. So sorry, this one's coming from Facebook. We probably don't need all of that. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if that works out. Now this is what I call clever. I actually had a chance to check this out. You seen this?
No, I've never seen this.
So somebody heard the pitches from like animals and wrote them out with like correct rhythms and correct pitches. Can you see the notes?
I can sort of see them, but like I can sort of tell. But like if you ask me like, hey, what pitch is that? It's so tiny, I wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, but that's pretty clever. So listen to this. Don't you think that's pretty cool?
Yeah, it is.
Did
pretty
you follow
neat.
the rhythm?
Yeah, just how like complex that would be.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the first thing that because I've watched this one in full, like I don't know whether somebody did this for like a school project or something, but if somebody did this just for fun, imagine how long it would take for you to transcribe something like that. Like it would take me like 2.5 minute video.
I got the reply.
Okay. Well, that's the new Facebook layout. Okay. So thank you, courtesy of Facebook. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. Well, at least 3 out of 4 went smoothly. So if you have any funny videos you'd like us to review and have a look at it, email them to euphonium.legends@gmail.com. Title, put as "This Ain't Funny" in the subject line. We'll have a look at it. We appreciate Ellen sending all of these videos. If you have anything funny, any memes, anything like that, submit. We'll try and show them on our live streams as we go. But yeah, so Mike, which one's the funniest one? Did you like the violin thing? Was that the funniest thing?
I like some of the page drop one. What was the funniest one? The one with the is it the bass player that I gave like an 8 or something like that?
I thought that was a percussion that you gave 8.
Yeah, it was one of those, one or the other. Okay. Yeah, those two were probably my favorites.
Fair enough. Light humor. I like all sorts of humor. I've got like a very high tolerance for humor. So submit everything to me if you want to get an angry Mike reaction or displeased.
Can you turn off of this thing so it's just like sorry, no video? Can you like go? Okay, that's much better.
That's better. Okay.
Oh, what happened? Okay, we're back.
Sorry, we're back. Okay, so yeah, so submit your videos and we'll have a look for them. We're gonna do more review videos, analyzing. I would like to do some more analytical playing, but watching at fun videos. Guys marching and falling into pit holes, that's more of my humor, my type of humor. So, but hey, apples, oranges, I guess. So, but either way, so what's next? We've got a little demo to share with all of you guys and girls. So the piece that you're gonna be hearing on March release, the new arrangement that we did for brass and percussion for small brass ensemble, is on the square. March, some of you might be familiar with, but we figured we'll share a little demo. So this is not properly mixed. There's a little bit of reverb on this one, but it's not mixed, and it's still missing two parts actually, euphonium and percussion. But you're gonna get a little preview of how that sounds. So let us know what you think in the comment section below, and this is what's gonna be coming out on Monday's video. So Mike, you ready? Is everyone ready for some unbelievably high, soft baritone playing? I purposely put up baritone a little bit louder than normal. So
Finally, people will be able to hear me.
finally, we'll be able to hear. Okay. Okay, let's play this. See how that works out. There's no tassets here. Did you hear that, Barry? Oh, that high note, that high note, that high note. Guess who's playing then? Okay, let's move on. You dig the tuba?
I wish I had the tuba part and not.
But it's well executed. That was my moment to shine. Did you dig that little passage on tuba right there?
I get what my wife says. My wife is a French horn player, and she absolutely hates marches with her whole entire soul.
Oh, because got it.
Because the horn part is always on the upbeat, and the baritone part that I played was mimicking the horn part. So it's just like, oh, I totally understand what she means.
Fair play. So if you want to hear the rest of it, Monday, tune in, watch the video. You're going to see the full video. You're going to get full arrangement, all that good stuff. You got a little preview here, what's coming on Monday. I love these marches. They're a lot of fun. This is what, 6 parts? Sounds very full, doesn't it? I'm pretty pleased with how we recorded. It almost sounds like, listen to the beginning of it. It sounds like almost like a full band. Doesn't that sound like a full brass band? That entry? That's like what's 5 or 6 players right here. It's still one missing. So either way, there's going to be a pretty cool march coming. Check on Monday. There's going to be a cool video. Scrolling music as always, downloadable on patreon.com/Matonizz. And here I plugged it in. But go subscribe if you like to support and see this podcast improve as well as get many more cool arrangements, new compositions, and so on. That being said, I'm seeing Mike getting a little bit drowsy and it's low on energy, and I guess that's time of the day where I guess it's time for Alrighties. So Mike, explain the rules to our audience who have not participated in this before.
I'm so hungry right now. I'll try my best to explain. So we have prizes that we give out for people who can guess what my special treat is today. I either have some candy or a baked good. I'll give you clues, and the first person to guess what the treat is wins one of those prizes. I'm not sure what the prize is today, but he'll be able to let you know. So I'm going to give you a hint on what the treat is. If you think you know what it is, place it in the chat box. First person to get it correct will win. And that's how we do it.
Yeah, so we'll get... I'll give out either a scale curriculum, high range book, or full practice routine book. You'll get to choose which one after the stream. I'm going to give you my email. Just email me and we'll forward you the book. But that being said, don't guess 20 times. Don't just start naming all all the foods that you know. Everyone gets 1 or 2 guesses at most, and so make sure you know exactly what that is before you start guessing. I'm going to be reading from the phone, so there's going to be a little bit of a delay, and I'm not exactly sure what that was. You showed it to me, but again, I'm not like a...
You'll have to, every so often, you'll have to go through and mention like what the answers are, because I can't see them either.
Somebody already put chocolate chip cookie. It's hilarious.
No, it's not chocolate chip cookie. This is it's a new treat. I never try to repeat treats. So if it's anything that I've done in the past, it's not happening again. Okay. So this one, it's once again a baked good. It's actually international. I have an international baked good right here. It's from the Netherlands, so it's Dutch. But even though it's Dutch and it's delicious, the Belgians make a great version of this too.
Okay, fair enough. Let's read through some questions. So if you have any questions that you haven't posted yet, this would be a good time. So Isaac is saying, "Hey Matonizz and Ding, how are you? How are we tonight, fellas?" We're doing pretty good, Isaac. How about you? Yeah. I guess this is our UK friends, I believe. Okay, you're jamming euphonium, where you could see Matonizz. I'm not gonna read this one, but it was funny. I guess I can.
I can't see it anyway. So.
Yeah. The description of that tune, the abbreviation would be AF. It was fire AF. So the intro tune. But I find that funny. Either way. Euphonium players don't get enough credit. I mostly play trombone, but I also do euphonium. It's pretty cool. 20 windows. I think I'm still only on version 10. That's funny.
Yeah, Windows 95. It's like Windows 95 can handle it, man. Why can't you do 20?
You've come to the right place. Okay. Gershwin. Yep, we're going to be playing. Ellen is asking Gershwin. Yep. We're going to be playing Gershwin with a brass band.
Yeah, that Cuban overture part is killer on the trombone. There's one line of it that's just insane.
Do you have that hat that you used on Sunday?
Do I still have the hat?
Yeah. Do you have it on hand?
I'd have to go. It's downstairs. Why? Do you want to see it?
No. Ellen said you should put a picture of that. But either way, Algirdas, I dare you to play French horn, lol. Don't dare me, because I will, and within 2 weeks I will be better than you. So.
French horn was hard. I was joking with my wife. Like I said, my wife's a good horn player, and she was playing a Mozart concerto at some point, and I would always tease her. I'd be like, I could play that. Give me that French horn. So I took her French horn and I tried playing it. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a lot of control. It's a lot of control. Yeah.
I could play trombone and tuba and trumpet and euphonium and all that. I'm fine, but the French horn kills me.
Okay. Maxwell is here. Say hello to Maxwell.
Oh, hi, Maxwell.
Matonizz only knows 15 VA notes. Yep.
Yeah, so
Life makes you do a lot of things. Sometimes even I get surprised that I can play some of those notes. Yep, that's life. I'm seeing a lot of 7s, 6s, 7 for funny, but hope it's memorized. These are page turns. 8. Lol at him reading the piano music. Who hurt you? Somebody said the Ding is so jaded. Who hurt you, Michael?
I've been a teacher for most of my life, and I've seen it all. I've heard it all. So nothing really shocks or surprises.
Mike decided it would be a good idea to put me today on a speaker in his class and let his 6th graders ask me questions. One of the question, should I say?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Let's skip this.
I always talk about my Lithuanian friend.
Yeah, you wanted to hear some Lithuanian language.
Class, and it just so happens you called, and I said to the class, I was like, Do you want me to answer? It's my Lithuanian friend that I always talk about. They're like, yeah, and so it caught him by surprise.
What stories are you telling about your Lithuanian friend right there?
No, I just like mention things that you do and all that.
So. Okay, good stuff. Okay, the cat is enjoying the piano. Okay, well, you see, I told you the cat is. Somebody said poor cat.
Yeah, I gave that a 0.
It woke up on glissando. A cat will not stay there if it didn't like it. Okay, for the cat video, the cat actually enjoys being near the piano and is not deaf. You can find its YouTube channel. Okay. Hey, sorry, I couldn't stay long this time. Good to see you both. Looking forward. Okay. Okay, let's find some questions. I guess everyone forgot to put question marks at the end.
Oh, is there no questions? Oh.
Last word to send.
Ooh, I could just eat and then we'll be like, oh, time to go.
Okay, at least Ding is laughing. Okay. Slapstick comedy with music. Okay. Learning YouTube. Matonizz is out here learning a whole new tuba, and these guys getting 3 million doing nothing. You said it. You said it best. So,
what are we doing wrong?
Yeah. I guess I need to step it up. Maybe I should make more tacit videos. Next time we make an arrangement, I'll make like a more tacit type of stuff. Okay, questions. I'm seeing.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of patrons.
Okay, so a chocolate chip cookie note, waffle, ice cream, blincy. Do you know what's a blincy?
No, but the first person that mentioned, you have to be a little bit more specific. If they could be more specific, it is a certain type of waffle. It's a Dutch version. It's on the smaller side.
Okay. Okay.
But
so
the first person to get the full name in there, I'll make that person the winner.
Okay. What affordable euphonium would you recommend for newish player? By affordable, everyone has different definition of what affordable is. I always recommend the model two models I recommend: JP274 and Wessex Dolce. I personally, all the recent videos that you've seen me do is done on JP274S. That's a euphonium that costs right around maybe a little bit under $2,000. And that is the quality I can squeeze out of that instrument. It's the best $2,000 euphonium you can find on the market, hands down. Wessex Dolce is another one. I'm not exactly about the price tag, and they don't use distributors, so it's hard to acquire that. You have to pre-order or ship them from UK. I might be a little bit off on this, but I think that's the model they use. JP274S, that's the model I use and recommend. Go to dfmusicking.com. You'll find that euphonium and put in promo code Matonizz for a 10% discount on a $2,200 or $2,000 instrument. That's a significant discount, and that's a really good instrument. I purposely use that instrument on videos just to not be hypocrite and actually use what we preach. I really that instrument is a really good. It's 95% of top tier professional line euphonium that you'll get. There's some little things that I'm not a fan of, but in terms of mechanics, but for the price you pay, it's amazing. So crude noten? What's a crude noten?
Now that must be someone from the Netherlands that actually knows, but no, it's not that.
Okay.
At least not my version.
If you guys don't play in with RCB, what other jobs you do? Teaching a lot, online teaching quite a bit, and a lot of production is mainly the biggest thing I've been investing a lot of time. Basically, what you're seeing on social media, most of my income is being generated through online platforms nowadays. Whether it's teaching, doing classes like School of Brass, I'm gonna be on that, and etc. So it's basically almost exclusively at River City, but River City is not entirely off. It's slightly different for me because I still, as a principal player, I get paid even if we don't. It's not the same amount of money, but I'm still on the payroll. Non-principal musicians, they have a slightly different structure, but Mike is a school teacher, so that's where a lot of this, if not the most time, goes to. Okay. Teachers, you don't make much money from that in USA. From what? If you guys, what is the best? Teachers actually make good money in USA. I don't know.
It depends. It depends on the state that you teach in.
Mike is driving a Lambo from his.
Oh yeah, I wish. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
No, like I always say, I'm always happy with my salary because it allows me to live and put food on the table and support my family. Do I make as much as a business owner or a banker or investor or all these other, like a CEO? No, absolutely I don't. But I'm able to support my family, and I'm grateful for that. I don't need $1 million.
I need $1 million.
But there's different states too, like different states that I would never ever want to teach in my entire life there, because you don't get like a sustainable
name the
wage
states. Just name them, list them. Come on.
There's some states that are in the South.
Which ones?
There's some states that are in the Southwest.
Come on.
That I wouldn't necessarily want to go work.
Come on. Name specific states. I want to hear it from you. Just for educational purpose, I would like to know which states.
I don't want to. I don't want to criticize certain states. If you want to know, I could talk to you. Side conversation here, but I don't want to. I don't want to upset people that might be teachers of those places.
Okay, fair enough. Best exercise to practice controlling intervals. The whole question normally gives me out the problem that you're having with the intervals. It's not the exercise that will help you to provide. Look at the exercise as a context. This is the way I look at it. It's the controlling intervals is not acquired through practicing exercise. It's acquired through practicing breath control, aperture control, tension control, tongue. These are normally, and this is very general. So normally, if I was teaching somebody, I will break down exactly. So let's say I always say that your fundamentals or 90% of your playing as a brass musician comes down to ability to control tongue, embouchure, air, and fingers. As easy as that. Now, that might not be telling you much. So normally when people ask, what do you mean by controlling embouchure? I normally subdivide embouchure into aperture control and tension control. And normally people ask, well, what do you mean by aperture control and tension control? And normally I break those down into separate paragraphs. So interval control goes as far as breath control, which is making sure that you... Why did you show that?
Because no one's given the answer. I figured I'd show it, and you're talking up a storm, and I'm just thinking.
No, somebody gave an answer. I wasn't reading through.
Oh, you were. Oh no, finish your answer. Because I have an answer to give to that person.
Okay, you already showed it. Why would you show?
They don't know. You don't know what it is.
Is it a liege waffle?
Oh, you are super close, but no.
Stroop waffle.
Oh, what did you say?
Stroop waffle?
Who said that?
Many people.
Yeah, whoever was the first person to do that. It's a Stroop waffle.
Come on, why did you show that? I was still reading through the question.
Woo!
Okay.
I was just so hungry I couldn't wait anymore.
Okay, the first person to answer that correctly is DM404. So DM404, congratulations. Send me an email to euphonium.legends@gmail.com with the subject Dining with Ding, and tell me which book do you like. Would you like Range, Full Practice Routine, or Scale Curriculum? Either one of those books, send it to me and I'll forward you your copy. Thanks for participating. Congratulations on winning. And there's a couple of people who named that. The first one was DM404. Christopher named that correctly. Christopher, send me an email as well. Christopher, there's two people who said it. They said it at the same minute. Okay, Christopher, email the same thing. Subject line, Dining with Ding. Pick one of those free books, Range, Full Practice Routine, or Scale Curriculum. I'll forward you one of those.
This is delicious.
Okay, Intervals. Best exercise to practice would be Arbin. Arbin intervals are pretty good. Basic slurs, anything that's scaly. You normally want to practice fifths, octaves, and above octaves. So Arbin will give you plenty of options for that. But in reality, that might not take you as far as you'd like. So what you should be focusing on, making sure that you practice your air control, your aperture control, your tension control, and your tongue positioning. Coordinating those 4 things will determine how flexible and how smooth and accurate you are with your intervals. Mike, you want to pitch in on this?
Yeah, so super quick. You always give such a detailed response, and I just always try to cut to the chase. When I think about interval exercises, some things that I like to use and that I've used in the past were just simple arpeggios on, if you think too on just putting down just one valve combination or one slide position, and then doing arpeggios up and down throughout that. What's good about that is that it gives you a chance to add and reach and experiment with those intervals, but it also takes the fingers out of the mix. And sometimes the fingers, if you're playing through certain passages, that can just add something to the difficulty level. So put down a finger combination, work on your intervals through arpeggios, or your slide position in a position, work through your arpeggios. Those are pretty simple to do. The other thing that I like to from the Arbin book is just taking a scale and just starting on one pitch and then going up scale wise and always coming back to that pitch. And then you just expand your interval that way, always going back and forth. So whenever you first start, your intervals are smaller and they're a little bit easier. And then as you build and you go upward, for example, on the scale, the intervals get a lot more difficult and demanding the more space that there is in between them. So those are a couple of activities or exercises that I would focus on.
Okay, so we're going to answer a couple more questions. We'll have to wrap this up because I'm a little bit short on time. Euphonium Time is asking, how would you approach a really hard solo? It depends on what's hard about it. There's solos that are hard to play and there's solos that are hard to learn. So, for example, if you look at Carnival of Venice, it's very fast. There's a lot of notes. It's a very dense texture, but it is very, very practice friendly. You start very slowly. Each time you get a clean run, add 2 clicks, another 2 clicks, and you do it over and over again to the point where you can play that as a second nature very fast and without much effort being put into it. So the hard thing about it is a lot of texture is going to take you a lot of practice. So don't practice slow, but practice perfect. The tempo will probably have to slow down, but you only need to go as slow or as fast as you can play perfect. From that point, get some clean repetitions, add 2 clicks. Add 2 clicks, that'll end up being 100, 200, 300 repetitions within, let's say, span of 2-3 days. You're gonna start seeing very gradual, very significant improvements. Now, if you're playing pieces that potentially might not be as crazy in texture, but might have some very high stuff or very large intervals, playing very high, even if it's a slow piece, it's hard to practice that because your technique has to be on par, or otherwise you'll fatigue very quickly and you can only spend so much time practicing that stuff. So if I have something that is very high in a very uncomfortable register, for example, that Celtic music that we recorded, I would have to pay a lot of attention to how I structure my practice. So those pieces, I don't want to practice that much within a day. I want to spread out my practice as much as possible. So instead of repeating one section 50 times, I would repeat that 5 times or 10 times or whatever times, but take a little bit longer if I have an opportunity. Take that a little bit longer to practice. Now, if you're normally if you see one of the pieces that is giving you one of those sequences or particular intervals or what I call circumstances that you find particularly hard, start including that in your practice routine in some sort of a scale pattern. Drill that over and over and over again. So next time you see a similar piece, you won't have to necessarily learn the intervals or the technique for the intervals. It's just going to be finger learning, and it's going to be the easiest way. So how would you approach that? Always structure. Find the hardest part, start practicing from that point. Don't start, normally people start going top to bottom, and the end normally is where the bad things happen. No. Mark in, pencil in, and don't just go like, okay, I'm gonna look at the B structure, penciled in, so there's a clear structure where you're starting. Mark in your breaths. Track your tempo when you're starting. Don't go like if today my goal is 150 beats per minute. I'm starting at 60 beats per minute today. I did 60, 64, 68, 72, 76, 80, so on, and I plateaued at 100. Don't start next day at 100 trying to continue there. Instead of that, go back to 60. Instead of 64, go 66, 72, 78. Make sure those intervals become a little bit larger. So you're putting a same amount of repetitions, just go a little bit faster as the last outcome. So there's a bunch of little tricks how you can do that, but always have some sort of structure or understand what challenges is the piece presenting, because the hard can be that's very vague. It can mean a lot of things. Mike.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of things that I was going to say, and I'll say it in a little bit of a different way. Whenever you get a difficult piece of music, like you said, I always like to start with the hardest part first. So when you get that piece of music and you're taking a look at it, find that harder section and really try to analyze that section and try to figure out, based on what you're playing is, what is hard about that moment in the music. You know, they might be working on some kind of technique there, or it could be an extreme range, or there's many different things that can make something hard. So you want to analyze that moment and try to figure out exactly what is hard about it. And then what I like to do is to find separate exercises, and you mentioned this a little bit too, but I like to find separate exercises that address that hard moment in the piece that you're trying to play. Because if I sit and I try to play a challenging piece and I'm just focusing on that piece specifically, it's really psychologically damaging to do that. Because if you have a hard part and you're struggling with it, and you tie those emotions of struggling or upset feelings or anger, you're going to tie that into that piece of music. And even if you improve on it, you're still going to bring some of those feelings with you when you go to play the piece or if you have to perform the piece. So you're going to have negative things riding within you, even if you've played it. So that's kind of a bad thing. So I like to get other exercises that address those concerns, and I practice a lot of those exercises. And I might stumble and I might have issues with that, but I work through them, and then I bring it back to the actual piece of music that I'm trying to play. And when I do that, I find that I'm a little bit more successful doing that, and I don't build those negative feelings to the piece of music specifically. So that's sort of my feelings for that. You mentioned some great things too with what you had said, but yes, start at the hardest part, analyze why it's hard, try to find supplemental exercises that build your skills in those areas, and then transfer it to the piece, and you will hopefully find a little bit more success than just trying to hammer it on its own.
I like a lot what you said right there. This is an interesting. I talk about psychology of that as well.
I liked a lot about what I said too.
Yeah. No, it's
no, it's true. It's true.
It is true.
You fight a lot of things whenever you're playing. Whenever you're playing an instrument, you're not just fighting the mechanics of the instrument, or you're not just like body systems to operate that instrument, but your mind can kill you sometimes. It could really be your worst enemy.
Yeah. Two questions from Andy, one for me, one for you. So Andy, the question for me was the browsing of the Patreon. You mentioned you're struggling to find some pieces. So look, all of them are posted on the timeline. On Patreon, each time when I make a post, it has downloadable. I don't post anything that does not have downloadable. So other stuff, some of the stuff that I posted earlier on YouTube, it doesn't have a downloadable. By downloadable, I mean either we own the arrangement that I'm sharing or play along tracks, etc. So every post has everything attached. Now, if you name me something specific, I'll be able to check it out. But send me a text, particularly if on Patreon, send me a message if you're struggling to find a piece. I'll send you a link to the post that contains that downloadable. But you'll find playlists, arrangements, original compositions, educational materials, MP3 downloads, and bonus contents. Those are 5 playlists that you'll be able to find. So arrangements is not our composition. It's something we arrange, whether Drew arranged or me. Original compositions, all those pop tunes or my solos that were originally written for this channel falls under original composition. So let me know which tunes or arrangements or educational materials you struggle finding. I'll send the link for you. Now the question for Mike is, have you mostly overcome the challenges of isolation precautions during class time, or are there still significant struggles with instructions classes?
Okay, yeah, wow, that's a great question. Can you read the question one more time? Because I want to make sure that I answer it.
Think this through. I'm going to read it. Think this through. I'm going to answer another question real quick while you think.
Sure. I mean, I have an answer. I already know what to say, but I just want to make sure I address each thing that was mentioned.
Okay. Have you mostly overcome the challenges of isolation precautions during class time, or are there still significant struggles with instructions classes?
Okay.
Do you want me to?
You can. Yeah, I could organize my thoughts while you.
Okay. So there's a very quick question from Bruce. My current setup is Parker 5G51D, so that's the mouthpiece I normally use, and a Besson Prestige 2052. I've noticed that most of the time when I play with this setup, my instrument seems to sound quite flat. How do I fix this issue? Okay. So I don't know how closely you'll follow all the videos, but there are a set of videos where I tried Besson Prestige and band. The instrument has very, very unique qualities to it. Its sound, its centering, the mechanics. It's done in a very luxury way, and people constantly keep on asking, why don't you use Besson? Why particularly use that Jupiter? Because Jupiter by itself, it doesn't have very fancy bells and whistles, but it's very, very effective in terms of being balanced in terms of its qualities. So Besson, one of the big things I always struggle with is flatness. Some of the notes are very flat. So either you need to use alternative finger combinations, which will normally make some of the stuff stuffy. So on Besson Prestige, from my personal experience, you'll notice most likely, if I had to guess, your concert A's, or if you're a treble reader, your B's are flat. So instead of 2, I normally use 4. I use 4 for that. Then you'll notice some of the lower stuff, like your concert C's or your treble D's, which is 1, 3. 4 are flat. I normally use 1 and 3, and the same thing for C sharp. I use 1, 2, and 3, or concert B. So you either have to use alternative finger combinations or one of the other methods that you can use. And I don't want to necessarily tell you how to do that, because I know that works, but you would have to take your mouthpiece to the shop. Get some of the shank cut off. Shorten the shank. It'll make the instrument, your pitch a little bit higher if you shorten the shank. So if you were just to cut this a little bit, again, don't do it yourself with like some sort of a metal saw or whatever. That's a bad idea. You would probably need to either contact Parker Mouthpieces and say, hey, Can you make that a little bit shorter? What would that cost me? Or can you do that for free? Or maybe exchange the shank into a shorter one because it makes me flat? And it's not necessarily the mouthpiece, it's the instrument. I experience the same exact problem. But that would be one of the solutions. Alternative fingerings or shortening the shank of the mouthpiece. Those would be my best, my best. Another thing, clean your instrument. Once it gets a little bit, I don't know what state it is, but if it has gunk inside it, that one of the symptoms is flatness, not sharpness, flatness. So clean a little bit of gunk if the instrument has been used for a little while, and that might help as well. But I had the same problem. I used to use Besson on multiple occasions. Flat, as pretty as the sound is, as great as the mechanics is, it's worth nothing when you cannot play in tune comfortably. So for those people who keep on asking me, why do I use Jupiter XO? Because it cuts through and it's in tune. Not the most comfortable instrument to play, not the most fancy instrument to play, but when it comes to doing the job, it does it pretty well. Mike, you ready to answer?
Sure. Yeah, I have a couple things. So yeah, that was a great question. Wow. For those people that don't know, I'm a public school teacher, and I teach elementary band primarily. I have other things that I do as well, but that's sort of the majority of what I do during a school day. So I mentioned about have I been able to overcome the isolation challenges, and yes, I feel like I've been able to overcome it to the best of what I can do and what the school system can do and what the students can do. I feel successful. My one thing that was first on my mind when the pandemic hit and we're having all these restrictions and distancing and mask wearing was, how am I going to keep these kids playing? That was a first and foremost thought in my mind. What can I do to keep these kids still playing? Because I know how much of a disaster or an impact that it could have on a school music program, the development of the students on their instruments. It could be catastrophic. So with that thought in my mind, you research studies on how you can play safely. Thankfully, my school district with the safety plan that our music teachers came up with there, we were able to still participate in music making. Thankfully, within my rooms, I have more distance than what is mentioned for safety. I can space them out a little bit more than what I would need to. We have musician type masks that we can use as we're playing to be a little bit safer. The bell covers that are placed on the instruments, I'm assuming they are helping based on the studies. So I'm able to still make music with them. But I had to be clever with even how I scheduled things. Like, instead of having 40 people in a room at one time, for a full band, I might have to break them into, I just have the drummers on one day. And that's how I have things set up for some of my groups. I might just have the drummers on one day, and that cuts the amount of people in the room down. And then I might have brass on another day. So we're still able to participate in the music making. Is it good? Is it ideal? No, not at all, not whatsoever. But we're overcoming those challenges. The students are improving. Are they improving in a normal fashion? Maybe not, but they're still making progress, which is nice. And then the struggles of the struggles that you face. One huge struggle that I have is the online teaching of some of the students. Like, whenever we got closed down completely, the students weren't able to come into the school district at all. So I had to go to all online teaching of instrument playing. And that is a huge challenge. And I'm sure you could imagine the problems that you would face. Equipment being used, Trying to have more than one person playing at the same time is a massive struggle. So what I've found successful that worked for me and my students is that I would have the lesson material that the students would be learning, or the music that they would be learning. What I would do is I would play on each of the instruments. Like if I had a trumpet lesson, or if I had a clarinet lesson or a saxophone lesson, I would play the lesson material and I would have them play along with me, but they would all be muted, and then they could play along and participate with me. And then when I was finished with that, I would always call on students to play excerpts of the lesson so that I can track their progress and monitor how they're doing, or see if they're doing something incorrectly, and then I could help guide them through that. So it's a very slow process with that, but it's just something that had to be, it was just something that had to be done in that way. It was killer doing that online stuff, and even just fixing of problems. Like if an instrument is broken, I mean, I don't teach older students who are familiar with their instruments, and if something might go wrong, they might just be like, oh, I need to do this, and then it could correct that problem. Some of my students are playing instruments for the very first time, and they're not sure what is going wrong. So that is extremely difficult, to try to troubleshoot and fix an instrument when you can't even get your hands on it, and they're not even there they're not even there in real life to be able to just fix it real quick and get back to making music. So those are some of the struggles. Overall, I feel pretty successful. Would I ever want this to happen again in the future? No.
You know what I found worse than online teaching is mixed teaching. Teaching half of a class in person while half of a class being at the same time online. That to me, oh my goodness.
It's tough. It's like, where do you put your focus?
It's the most pointless. It's so unproductive. It's almost like better go let them kids play like computer games. It's as much they're probably learning.
You have to.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
exaggerating. I'm not a fan of that. It's like, I mean, you have certain standards that you have to take care of, and I get it. There's struggles and problems, and we have this pandemic going on, but I don't want to lower my standards. But you sort of have to adjust your standards and still try to take care of what you would do, but just find a different route to making it work out.
But I'm clearly over-exaggerating, so I'm over-exaggerating.
You better be.
But what I'm saying is it's just very unproductive. It's very, very unproductive.
It is.
And one thing that annoys me more than all the trouble on my end is that there's a whole generation. Normally kids have 12 years. That sounds like a lot, but 12 years to gain a lot of what I call, I always call education grade 1 to 12, and specializing, going to university. I know it's called higher education, but I don't call it, in my head, it's not so much education as being specialized at something. Because somebody who goes studies law, he's not educated in music. So he's educated, I call it specialized. So there's 12 years, that's not so much. But one generation has one of those years just taken out of their 12 years. And I'm sure they don't mind, because kids normally, they don't mind. Let them stay home, play games or whatever. But for the future, I feel that's not that's worrisome a little bit. I wish there was a better way. There's no better way of doing it, but I wish there was. People are starting to get a little bit more prepared for this, right around the time where everything's easing back, so everyone caught off guard. So I feel like the first half of the year was like a complete waste of, well, not complete, but a largely waste of time. But either way, I'm glad to hear that teachers are finally sorting this out. I took most of the stuff. I try to avoid mixed sessions, so I normally do online stuff, make sure that everyone has a good computer, good internet access, and that normally fixes the problem. Either way, that being said, Thanks to everyone who joined in. We're going to be wrapping up. We went a little bit longer as always than expected. Hopefully you enjoyed our 19th episode of Do It Live with me and Mike. We're going to be doing some more of these. Again, as I mentioned, I'm going to try and hire somebody to make cooler layouts on Streamlabs so I can make these windows a little bit more playable. By windows, I don't mean the software. I mean the window, separate windows. But either way, thanks to everyone who joined in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join on Patreon. And any last words, Mike? Or
yes. I keep pushing this all the way to the end. Hi, Brazil. Bye, Brazil.
Bye, Brazil. Okay. Have a good rest of the week, everyone, and I'll see you Monday with a new arrangement that we're going to be releasing. Have a good rest of the week, everyone. Take care.